Hi, my name is Graham Sims. I'm the Director of Delivery and Consulting Services for Concept Searching, and I'm here today to talk to you about the toolkit we provide to assist our customers with the business process of actually tagging their content and optimizing the output they're getting from the concept searching tools. I'm going to break the discussion down today into 4 sections. I'll talk a little bit about the origins of the solution and how we came up with this and the reasons it exists. I'll then go over a little bit of the functionality, which is approximately broken down into 3 areas. And then the majority of the webinar will be a demonstration, and then finally we'll talk a little bit about the benefits the system provides to the customers. So this toolkit has grown over the last 10 years of actually implementing automatic classification systems within enterprise organizations. And during that process, there have been various tools that we created within the professional services organization to facilitate the process, to give the customers greater insight into what's going on as far as their tagging system is concerned, to provide additional functionality to help them with other tasks as part of migration, organization of their content, and also to accelerate the process of taking the concept searching system and getting that into a functional classification system for their organization. All of this functionality has been built on top of the web services interfaces that concept searching provides, and has provided utility to more than one customer, and those were then combined together into this toolkit which we're now providing. So to talk a little bit about the capabilities that we're providing, it's split into 3 basic areas. Firstly, we have content optimization. So we have the ability to identify duplicates within the content, both exact and near duplicates. We also have the ability to use the concept searching core ability to identify related concepts and analyze an entire corpus of pre-tagged content and generate an initial set of clues for that content. The second area is a validation area, so where we're able to provide reporting and validation that the tagging system is performing as expected over the entire corpus. When you're developing the rules and setting up the taxonomy system, you typically are looking at a smaller subset, and so this gives you that ability to take a more wider view as to the performance of the system. And finally, a reporting capability, where we can look at the reports both taxonomy-wide and based on individual terms. So now I'm going to move into a brief demonstration of this capability. So this is all provided via a web interface, and there's also a Windows service at the back end that does the work in the background. And so the user can go to various tabs in here and select from the different functionality provided. So the first taxonomy analysis tab gives you the ability to look at the content from a taxonomy scope. So we can export a taxonomy to Excel, including the clues that concept searching has generated. We can also run various tags. And these include the ability to look at the tagging coverage, so that is looking at my different sources within that concept searching has analyzed, how many documents are within those sources, and of those documents, how many of them have yet to receive a tag from this particular taxonomy that I've selected. And so that gives me an insight as to how complete my tagging solution is. And if I'm interested in seeing this, I can select one or more of those sources, and I can generate a report based on analyzing that content. We can also generate a report that shows exactly how all of the contents for a particular one or more sources were tagged, and that gives you a review capabilities to see how your tagging is performing. And finally, and possibly most interestingly, the users have the ability to manually override concept searching tags, and that information is useful feedback to the people developing the rules. So this final report will actually go look at the documents, how they've been tagged manually by the user and how the automatic system would have tagged them, and that is great feedback into how the system's performing. We can also show some reports on a term-by-term basis. So I can pick an individual taxonomy, analyze into that taxonomy, and see the structure of the reporting that's coming back for an individual term, as opposed to looking at the scope of an entire taxonomy. So I can select a term, I get a little immediate view of the clues, and I can look at the history of the term, how it's been changed over the time, and also I can see a detailed analysis of all of those documents, in this case 12, that are attached to my bacteria term, and showing me how it's classified. Duplicate detection, we can scan over all of your content, analyze both exact duplicates based on a checksum. We can also do a near duplicate detection, which goes and makes a deeper dive into your content, and that will find different versions of the same file, and also files that maybe have converted from one format to another. And moving into the validations case, we have the ability to do a validation of content. So in this context, you can set up sets of positive and negative documents for each term, and then the tool is able to report on where there are discrepancies between those positive and negative sets and how the automatic system is classifying your content. And so here you can see I have 13 documents identified as being about barley, 1,000 that are not about barley, and I have none of my 1,000 documents that are not about barley are being tagged that way. 3 of my 13 documents that are about barley are not being tagged that way. So that gives me good validation, and I can generate this as a report. And the final section to look at here is automatically clue generation. Once you've set up those sets of documents, then you can automatically configure the system based on a various set of parameters to generate an initial set of clues. All of these reports are output into the format of Excel, and you can analyze those reports and look at the results. So for example, I can see here the classification validation report. So this again pops up an Excel document, and it's showing me for each term which documents are false negatives, as in documents that should have been tagged that weren't, and which are the false positives documents that shouldn't have been tagged that were. So that gives me a quick validation, giving me a precision and a recall percentages to give me an analysis of how well my classification system's going. So that is a brief overview of the tool. And just finalize up with a little bit of talk about the benefits. So here we're looking to reduce the time it takes to develop your clues, to get your system going. The reporting capabilities give you more insight without having to dig deep and spend a lot of time analyzing as to how the system is performing. The duplicate detection is a very useful side effect really of what Concept's doing, Searching's doing when it's building its index. So this toolkit provides a whole suite of tools that speeds up the process, helps you get to a better automatic classification system quicker, and allows you to more easily keep track of how the system's performing. So that concludes this webinar for the day. Thank you very much for listening, and come back to the Concept Searching website for additional topics that are available. Thank you.